Greetings and welcome to CRT Gaming Podcast, episode number 31, Batman.
I'm Batman.
This is Jones, and with me are little Batmites, Dazpick and Gohan, and Mr. Dazpick.
Broken. Bruised and beaten.
So Dazpick, before we get started, do you have any words of love and peace for Sunsoft?
I do. I think they made two amazing Batman games when I was 30 years younger than I am now. Yes. They were great.
Redemption for him.
They are not for the aged.
And Mr. Gohan, were you aware Michael Keaton's Batman was such a badass? I was not.
You know, I'm kind of speechless. Let's just say I'm here. I'm ready to do the Batusi retro style with my friends.
Well, we did this movie series of games, and this is what you came up with. So, this is, it could have been like GoldenEye, it could have been a lot of stuff, but it was Batman. So,
on the NES.
On the NES. So, explain yourself, sir.
We could have been moonwalking.
I don't know. We needed Batman to kind of cleanse the palate, Daz, Well, I mean, okay, so, we grew up kind of in the Atari generation, right? And so my kind of vision of movie games were kind of not great, I played E.T. and the Empire Strikes Back game for the 2600 and a few other things kind of here and there. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe for in television, and they're all just really not great games. And I think when this game came out, when Batman came out, it was the first time where I felt like finally somebody made a cool movie game. And of course, at the time, the movie was just a cultural phenom, right? I mean, Batman was everywhere, and it was just awesome that the first time I got to play an actual good game based on a movie, it was with my favorite comic character of all time up until that point, and the hysteria around the movie itself was just made it a big memory for me when thinking about movies that are games that came from movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's really loosely based on the movie. I don't think it shares
loosely
anything at all to do with the movie other than maybe the ending. Kind of, from what I've seen, because I didn't accomplish the ending myself. And
well, there's the beginning and then the end, and then there's some stuff that happens in the middle.
Okay. But this game's hard. I think we're going to be talking about how hard this game is. Because Bane may have broke the bat, but Sunsoft broke the Jones, because this game just wrecked me.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him. Yeah, this one's rough, man. Like I said, I turned this on just on a whim when we were talking about movie games, and I was like, oh yeah, man, Batman, that was a really good one. And then I started playing it for 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was good when I was a kid, and I had the dexterity for this.
The mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that, and then you had more free time as a young child. You could sit down in front of a TV, as long as your parents will let you, if they're gone or whatever, for 3 or 4 hours, and just, you could do that repetition, and just eventually you get it. And it's just this game does something really dirty, where you get to the boss level, if you don't beat the boss, then when you continue, you're back at like, well, for example, like 2-3 is like a level that just, it kicked my ass. It did. It hurt my feelings. It ran away with my girl, and it kicked my dog.
And those gears.
They make you climb that mountain every single time you fight the boss, basically.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And there are things in this game that I do not understand how to get. It's like you have to take damage. Like, I don't see a way not to take damage to get some of these places.
Yeah.
As far as the jumps goes, I don't see how to make this jump at all. So you gotta like just jump and get zapped and kind of like bounce out of it, hopefully, and get on the platform.
Well, the jump is weird because like it's like he crouches down to jump, and so there's that extra delay to the
extra frame in there. Yeah.
And it throws it off because like you're used to hitting the button and instantly jumping, but no, there's like a millisecond delay that throws it off, and then it kind of launches you a little bit, so then you don't want to jump too high because there's things above your head that you're going to take damage from. And I know now I'm overthinking it, when you're a kid and playing it, you're like, oh, okay, you can feel it out, also because you have more time to sit down and bang through it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nuance to the control, like even the wall jumping, like you get used to other games where you do it a certain way, and then you do it in this game, and it just has a different feel because you're not actually doing anything with the control pad. You're doing it all with the button presses. And that's off-putting.
Anticipation. It's like a weird combination, honestly, like of two games at least. We're talking about the jump right now, and it's like it's almost like a combination of the kind of Castlevania jump with that kind of anticipation at the beginning. It's basically Castlevania meets kind of Ninja Gaiden, right? Like you're kind of doing all the wall jumping, precision jumping is a part of it. Thank God, at least in Batman, they are not throwing like Medusa heads and shit at you, but it's one of those things where it's like once Batman leaves the ground, like, you say your prayers,
Oh yeah, because you could have like full health, and then because like the jumping, you have to be a master of the jump. Like not good at it. It requires mastery. Because you have like the little baby hop that you have to do, or like a big jump, or doing the back and forth climbing jumps. You have to, land one kind of in between. It's not.
Yeah, and then the wall, like where you drop and then you wall hop like off.
Yeah.
Like you basically walk off the edge, and then that one is the. Yeah, that is the leap of faith Batman wall jump.
Yeah, it's a hard freaking game, man. I mean, and now props to them because they crammed all that nuance into a freaking NES game. And it is doable, clearly, because I beat it before. But damn, I mean, it's no joke. I mean, I remember when I beat it, like it was a freaking triumph. It was like beating Ninja Gaiden, and I was like, yes, I beat this game. Props to me, I'm the shit. But yeah, trying to do it now, it's just too damn hard. It's just too damn hard.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of circles, people consider this like the best, hardest best, hardest kind of NES game. There's lots of NES games that are hard because they're bad, but this one is definitely up there. I mean, it definitely is a good example. When people use the term NES difficult, this is the game that they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Right, yeah. But it did have some catchy tunes that burn into your brain.
Yeah, they did.
Like the level 2 music, I was jamming to.
I was whistling
still in my head right now.
Yeah, I mean, the music for this game and actually most of Sunsoft's games are awesome. I mean, really, like, the guy, Kodaka, who did the soundtrack for this, he did Journey to Silius. I don't know if y'all ever played that NES game, but it's like pretty awesome little shooter. It's actually supposed to be a Terminator game, but instead they made just like this side-scrolling kind of shoot 'em up. But he also did the music for Blaster Master, and I think probably most famously Spy Hunter. So I mean, there's definitely some amazing music chops in this game, especially with just how primitive the NES hardware was.
Yeah, I did, like, as far as the, I kind of did a little looking into, like, the time that this came out, and, you know, Sunsoft, it's kind of crazy, like, they didn't really, well, they kind of they must have had this Batman franchise license, because they released games for the Nintendo, the Genesis, and the PC Engine, like, you know, all Batman, you know, the movie license game. And all three of them are completely different.
Yes.
Like but of the three of them, I kind of enjoyed the Genesis one the most, personally. But it's a different style game.
Yeah, definitely. The Genesis one was absolutely like a show pony, you know, for just bringing that movie to life in game form. Yeah, there's like pixelated Jack Nicholson and Batmobile, and you know, the first level you're in Gotham and you're taking out street hoods. And actually, during the course of this week, I was just like looking up some of the things around this game, and apparently there's like this whole host of Batman bad guys in this game that I was completely and totally unaware
KG
of.
Beast, Bob the Joker's Goon, Firefly, or is it Firefly? Something like that. The dude that flies around shooting you with the first boss.
It's Firebug.
Firebug, okay.
Oh, yeah, the jetpack guy. Yeah, Firebug,
yeah,
right.
I knew it was Fire something, I couldn't remember.
I only know that because Wikipedia told me. I didn't know his name. I thought it was some...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
KG Beast
like,
is...
There's this list of bad guys in here, and I'm like, all I remember are weird anime bosses and the Joker.
The guy in the first level who's leaning against the wall, just kind of chilling. That's the KG Beast. You know,
like this.
He's just hanging out, smoking a cigarette, waiting. He's like, that's how he's waiting for his check, basically, for his appearance. He's like, hey, folks. Just gonna get my ass beat by Batman. It's all in a day's work.
You start hitting him and he doesn't move. He just sits there and eats it, and then it's over. So yeah, and it's not like there's a name brand above this. Says KG Beast or anything. But yeah, that's him. I don't remember where Bob the Joker's Goon is, but he's in there somewhere. Anyway.
Oh, he was like the worst toy ever.
Oh,
I remember. I just remember this movie when it came out, and like I said, it was huge. Like, I thought the movie was kind of so-so, but there were things about it that I totally fanboyed over, like the Batmobile. I thought it was amazing. Batman looked cool. I didn't like... I'm not a big fan of Nicholson's Joker. So, for when it came out... But that's regardless. But I do remember, like, the toy line came out for these, and there's, like... He's like the Lobot of the Batman toys. I guess if you were a kid and you were getting these, it was like you did not want Bob the Goon. It's just like...
there's just stacks and stacks at the clearance aisle of Bob the Goon.
Yeah.
Mountains of Bob.
I mean, he did get unceremoniously murdered in the movie, so... There was a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, when the movie came out, I mean, this also was really sure, there were titles like Superman and stuff like that, but really, I think the first modern, movie that kicked off, I think, everything after it up until the Marvel stuff really was the Tim Burton Batman movie. And it was everywhere. And as soon as they said that there was a game coming out for it, I was just so like, I wasn't a believer, because up until that point, there's a lot of bad Batman games like on the PC and stuff like that you'd see like in the PC aisle at Babbage's or Electronics Boutique, and you'd look on the back and you're like, that this is just terrible. So yeah, not only was the movie like kind of like a milestone for the comic movies and the character, but the game I felt like was like a milestone for a comic book game as well. But man, it is difficult, no joke. There is just no way in hell. So I gotta ask, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how Batman are we, Daz and Jones? I got to level 4 in this game.
Props.
And it just broke me in half. Like,
I got to, sadly, 2-4. That's where my threshold was, because I wanted to play this. I didn't want to, like, cheat and use, like, a save state or something like that. I wanted to actually, experience this, like, for real. And it was real. It was real as shit.
I got to the sewers, like, was that level 3 or something? Where the jumping frogmen.
Yes.
The jumping gorilla robot mecha guys. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I got there and I gave it the finger. I was like, I'm good. I've played this before.
Whoever designed that guy also designed the turtles from Ghouls and Ghosts. Like, there's just no rhyme or reason to that
They
character.
jump close, they jump far.
And there's no way to bypass them. There's no way to blow past them either, because they just keep coming.
No, yeah, Bats has a kind of shitty knockback to Castlevania, like, which again is good sometimes, but I don't know, man. On those moments, it really sucks.
And they skimp you with the health. There's no like big block of health. It's like, here's one tiny ass heart.
8 hits.
Like, oh wow,
done.
thanks.
8 hits, and every surface in that game is trying to murder you.
Oh, well, I mean, like, you can have, like, one small mistake. You can have, like, full life.
Yeah.
And one small mistake just cascades into
Forget it, bud.
Yeah, just a combo, a king combo straight out of Killer Instinct. That's just wrecking you.
Combo. Yeah, that happened a few times, and I was like,
crime fighting is a high risk profession.
That's must suck. He's an upgrade because 8 hits ain't enough.
Well, I think if he was like some black instead of like purple, he might his armor might work better. I didn't like that. I would have liked him to be like a darker gray, or if they just would have went blue. But I don't know. The purple kind of, I don't know what's that supposed to represent, like a black and light color. I don't know. But I didn't like the purple Batman.
I didn't mind it. I mean, I took it as, this is. I took it as the black outfit. Just, that was their color spectrum. But that purple was their black.
Well, see, like in the little cutscenes, though, like, you'd have like a blue Batman, like show like the Batmobile driving down the road and like stop, and like Batman hops out and he's blue.
Yeah, that was supposed to be black too, though, because that was Keaton Batman.
Adam West showing up in the brand new Batmobile, but the game looked good though. It was vibrant, colored,
very well animated too.
Sounded good.
The wall jump animation was one of my favorites. I wish more games had done it because it had a very good feel to it. It was just very different from prior games that played. But yeah, I mean, I really loved the game when I played it before. I just can't handle that shit now, man.
Oh, but this is one thing that irritated me is when I first started playing it. It took a while to train my brain to do that. But every time you complete a section, it just like say you get to like I don't know, like you're at 2-2, then bam, you get a 2-3, like and it doesn't really have like a load time, so it's kind of like poof, you're in 2-3, and then all of a sudden you have to reselect your weapon, like the Batarang,
yes,
or the Bat Disc, or the Bat.
Oh,
so you think
mm-hmm.
you're throwing a Batarang, and all of a sudden you just kind of do a punch, and then boom, you're hit.
Because you're like, oh, I'm gonna go in here and prepare, and I'm gonna have my shit ready to go, and then you go in there, it's like, oh, god damn it, reset my shit.
There's some kind of uncharacteristically not Batman weapons that he uses.
Rocket launcher.
Like strain rocket bullet gun, like from Runaway or something.
Yeah, it's like a
what the
spear
hell
gun. That's what they say it is, but it looked like a gun to me. Like he's got a gat.
He was packing heat. I mean, that's
like Batman
that's
Year
a bat
One.
fleck.
This is the Zack Snyder Batman. I guess.
Batfleck packing heat, murdering peeps.
And you have the shuriken thing that like breaks into like the spread, and then of course the batarang, which actually watching some of the people who are speedrunning this, that and the shuriken are the two weapons to just plow through this game.
The batarang's what I used most of the time. I only used the exploding one for like an enemy I couldn't quite get to without endangering myself, so I would try to hit it with it.
Yeah. It's a hard freaking game, man.
Yeah, that speedrun you sent us was pretty crazy, though. Like, some of the stuff, like I said, I didn't realize playing it because, kind of a rule of all games is you don't let the enemy touch you. So I didn't realize, when you hit the enemy, it stuns them, but then the enemy cannot hurt you while it's stunned, so you can literally walk through it, at that moment in time.
Pretty sure that's a bug that they shipped with.
It's not a feature, you're saying? It's a bug?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure Bat's trained to have that skill.
It's just like, give him the little love tap and then
just walk right by him.
Soldier right by him.
Yeah.
You can't see me.
Tap on the back.
That's not you silly.
Give him the Vulcan neck pinch, and then just on to the next bad guy.
He's Batman. That's stuff like that.
He's Batman.
But yeah, just like looking back at Sunsoft's catalog, like, man, I didn't realize how many like kind of rough ports that they brought to the NES before they made what I think is their first good game
Master Blaster
in Batman. Like,
well, Master Blaster came out first.
Master Blaster came out first.
Because that was where
that and Batman.
The pedigree for when I saw it was Batman was being done by Sunsoft, I was like, oh shit, they made Master Blaster. That shit was great. So I was kind of jazzed at that point. But then, it's freaking hard.
But yeah, before Blaster Master in this game, it's like pretty icky port of Xenophobe and Afterburner. It's
no.
Man, how did they land what was the most insane On Fire license this year that it came out? It's like,
yeah, it's
I don't know if exec at Warner Brothers be like, yeah, sure, give them.
Did you see our work on Afterburner? Don't you want to give us Batman?
That's like I was looking at all three of the games. Like I thought it was kind of crazy. They were such different games. Like this one's very like Ninja Gaiden-ish, and the Genesis one's kind of like side scroller beat 'em up.
And it's really good. So
it is good, and then the PC Engine is very like old 80s arcadey. Like it's really strange.
I need to see this.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a video of it. But strangely enough, it does, like, the PC Engine has always had cool like cinemas. Like, for whatever reason in their games, they always kind of did more than just like a static image. So the cinemas are actually really cool. I would have liked to have seen more of the cinemas in like the NES version that were like that. It'd have made it so much better. Not that it's bad. I'm saying it just would have, added to it.
Oh yeah, kind of like Aladdin. It would have benefited from having like that full, at the time, kind of multimedia kind of experience.
Yeah, because like the little cinemas, like the Batmobile driving down the highway or whatever, they were really cool for the NES. I just like to see more things like that, especially at that moment in my life. That they're they're little cartoons. They're enjoyable.
Yeah, Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, its presence is felt strongly on this game for sure. Not just how Batman controls and plays, but just the cool cutscenes in between the missions, trying to make semi-sense of why you're fighting in some of these more crazy environments.
Yeah, watching him jump out of the Batmobile in that one cutscene, I was like, that's so good. It blew my freaking mind when I was a kid. I was like, this is awesome. It's amazing.
Batman, baby.
89, man. That was a good year. That was looming large in society at that point. That was big shit.
Yeah, like I said, I don't recall if I ever did beat this as a kid. I just don't remember. It was a long time ago. And I was looking like this. It came out like the same year the Genesis came out. So I do know if those anywhere at all kind of overlapped, I probably did not beat it. Because I kind of migrated like immediately when Genesis came out. Always been
Cutting edge.
an eye candy addict. I got problems.
I remember definitely beating this because, like I said, it was a big freaking deal because it was so hard fought. And I remember calling my buddy, "Holy shit, man! I just beat it! This is amazing!" All right, yeah, but this game's tough, man. That can't be overstated.
I beat it back in the day. Like, it was one of those games, because we had so much time and so much patience, I was able to beat it usually without having to continue. Like, but man, the muscle memory has not been kind in any way, shape, or form. I'll tell you that right now. So,
Yeah, it's fair to say I suffer from the same ailments as you.
the ailments. Yeah, I need ointments on my gaming hands.
Yeah.
Card carrying members of the AARP, yeah. we can't play Batman anymore.
It's tough. I'd have to dedicate myself to it. I don't know if I'm ready for that type of commitment.
I got
like
married.
you said,
That's the
Joe,
last
the-
commitment I'm making.
Well, that's what's sad.
That's it.
is you sent us a speed runner, and like I said, I like for like the video will show when we play this podcast. It is literally like my first 35 minutes of playing the game, like in however long it's been, 30 years or whatever. And where I got to at the end of it, like I had recorded it for about 45 minutes. This is where I was. And then you sent that speedrunner, and he's like, I'm like 3 minutes and like 40 seconds into his game. It kind of really, knocked me down a little bit. I felt worse about myself.
It's not looking good.
No.
And Batman might be terminal. Yeah, this like you said, this was kind of like the time right when the Genesis was coming out. I remember I bought it was like a big purchase. I got Batman, Super Mario 3, and Final Fantasy on the NES. And those are kind of like the last few games that I played before like Daz going for blast processing and 16-bit graphics on the Genesis.
Now Mario 3 was amazing.
All right, gentlemen. So, what's next on the agenda?
Well,
All right.
Batman has broken us.
Batman has just knocked us all down, off our pedestal, or just put men. Kind of thought about this, and every week I come up with something, kind of, like a theme we go by to choose games. So I kind of have something totally different here. Okay. So coming up, like when it goes to your game choice, you can choose a game, literally any game that you want, of any genre, of any retro system. But there's a catch. This game, you can never have played it before. Like, you may have watched somebody play it, or you may know of it, but you personally have never played it.
It's hard to find.
blind.
It's not as hard as you think it is. Maybe for the Trash Panda.
I did that with Sparkster, man. I went into that site unseen, and you saw where that ended up.
And what I went with is a game that I learned about a few months back, but till then I never heard of it. I've never played it. It's called In the Hunt on the PlayStation 1.
Power play all the way. Xing.
It is an arcade port by Irem, which they made Moon Patrol R-Type. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a 2D horizontal submarine shooter.
It was a submarine, right? I knew it was subs.
Yeah. And what's kind of cool about this game is the developers that made this left that company, and they formed and made Metal Slug. So this is made by the Metal Slug people.
Oh, wow.
They made what?
Metal Slug.
Metal Slug.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, like I said, it could be really hard. I don't know. But we'll find out. That, because this could be like Batman Part 2 next week.
Two pings Vasari.
All right. Never played before. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, you could have watched somebody play it, just you personally. Like there's a lot of games when back in the day that you played that I could tell you everything that happened in the game, but I never personally played it. I just watched you play it. So.
Yeah. That was Final Fantasy VII for me for a while. So I finally got off my ass and played it, watching you play it for so long. All right. I'm down. Ready for some hot sub action.
Okay.
Some hot sub on sub action.
Yeah. Jared's not in this sub.
Daz Boot starring Daz Pick.
Awesome. So stay tuned next week and we'll check out In the Hunt. And until then, this is Jones with Daz Pick and Go On. And we are signing out.
Until next time.
Jesus.
The Hunt.
Game over, yeah!